Hey, good morning. It's Steve Sawyer. It is May 17th, 2019. And once again today, as I was thinking about some interesting things to discuss, I went online to research, and God, it was endless, just endless how much stuff was available on trust. And so I included one link that was the neuroscience of trust, but I also went and watched people talking about different questions that you ask that deal with trust. The whole thing that instigated this, good morning everybody, was because I think that trust is like the most crucial test that any of us can have as a human being, especially if you stand under the umbrella of I am also a child of God. Trustworthiness, I think, is the true measure, the truest measure of our character, our self-mastery. And the whole thing started because it seemed to me that it's incredibly important that we not only be trustworthy to each other, but that trust that we have with each other has everything to do with how much God can trust us. And in the eternity of time, I think to be given assignments, we have to be trustworthy. And I think the angels that probably assist in this are very, very careful to make sure that they can assay our character so they don't give us more than we can handle. That's not necessarily true when it's humans and humans, but it just seemed incredibly important that we find that we can honestly say that we are trustworthy. I think most relationships fail because somebody can't be trusted. I think a lot of businesses succeed or fail based on whether their customers trust them. And maybe it's just because it should be talked about more or thought about more. So many things. Wow, there's just so much. God, there's so much. Trust just has everything to do with not only who we are, but who we want to become, and the ability to make friends. Being somebody that shows up on time, or somebody that does what they say they're going to do. I think the only thing I can tell you today is I want to be considered trustworthy, not only to my friends and family, but I also want to be trustworthy to strangers. I want to try to live the kind of life that will make it possible for God to decide, yeah, I think I'll let him try something. I think he can pull that off. It ended up being more complicated to try to speak about in a fluid way than I thought. But I know we've all done things which have made people distrust us. The easiest thing, of course, is when a child does something and finds out that they lied to their parents or they did something they were told not to do. And God, the issue of parents trusting their children is huge. I know I did a lot of things that over the course of my life that my dad didn't want me to do, but that also included being an artist. So I would just like to challenge all of us, every one of you, to honestly think about how trustworthy you are. I found some interesting questions, and they were kind of weird, but they said that they were actually important. These are things that you hope you get a yes answer to. Do you usually show up on time? when you say something is going to happen, does it usually happen? And when you describe an event, is it accurate? They have a bunch of negative questions too that have to do with, lying or helping to deceive somebody and knowing somebody else's, knowing that you're lying. God, that's a rabbit hole I don't even want to go down to. But all of us have issues, and if we can trust ourselves, I found a really nice quote: as soon as you trust yourself, you will know how to live. Kind of reminds me of people that have people that tell the truth and are trustworthy don't have to remember anything. You've heard that one, I'm sure. I just want to challenge all of us today to raise our standard of trust within ourselves and to help other people become trustworthy. And when you find out that somebody failed you, what's the right way to forgive them? Because you can forgive people in a way that forgive and forget, or you can forgive and remember, or you can forgive and instruct. Because ideally, the stakes, when it's somebody we love, the stakes get much higher when trust is involved. There is only one version of the truth. That's an interesting phrase, Roxanne. I'm not sure I agree with that. I agree with your heart, what you're saying. But I think that it is probably also accurate to say that when two people sincerely, as a detective, well, yeah, but now as a detective, you know that there have been times when two different people have observed the same crime and described it absolutely truthfully, and you found out the facts weren't the same. Anyway, I don't know how to get off that. Anyway, as children of God, as human beings that desire, regardless of what your faith is, if you want to have a better relationship with God, you have to be trustworthy. We all have to be trustworthy. We have to be trustworthy not only to each other, but the trust that we have. Truth breeds trust. Yes, it does, Frank. I don't think I'm talking real smooth today, so I'll probably get off. But I know I always want my clients, when I do art, I always want them to trust me. There's a certain level of trust. They have to trust that I'm going to do exactly what I say I'm going to do, and for the price I agree to do it. I've built up a pretty good reputation as being a very trustworthy person. Not a perfect person by any stretch of the imagination, but I know it's really important. I trust my wife with my entire life. I trust her. I've never had to worry about her. Well, maybe early on, while we were trying to learn how to navigate the waters of marriage, we probably were pretty stupid and did some untrustworthy things, thinking we were doing it right, and we weren't. But trust is everything. It's between a man and a woman, between friends. I mean, the only good friends we've got are the ones we can trust, right? And if we've lost friends, is it because they can't trust us? Hopefully it's not the case. I'm a Neanderthal today. I can't really wrap my head around how to share it correctly. I just would like very much for all of us to pay more attention to being trustworthy. Because I can assure you this, that is the true test of our character for God and other human beings. So if you get an inkling to do something that's untrustworthy or not do what you say you're going to do, just sit down on that thing and make it go away. Do what you say you're going to do. Be trustworthy. Build confidence in other people. Gain their respect by being trustworthy. People that respect you usually end up loving you, and And love is a great thing. I even hear somebody say God is love, so it's very godlike to be trustworthy. Anyway, forgive yourself when you screw up, but we can all do better. I know I can do better. And today I plan on doing better. I'm not quite sure what circumstances will come up which will test my trustworthiness, but I can promise you this: I'm going to reach for high ground, and I hope you guys do too. Love you. Bye.